Giuliana from Hardcore Italians, and you're watching Cooking with G. Dun, 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 dun. Today we're gonna be making, you guessed it, pastina, which is like every Italian baby's first food or first meal. Pastina is probably like my #1 go-to food for like comfort or for feeling like nostalgia, because I always remember my mother and my nonna making pastina for me when I was younger, and even today I beg them to make it for me. But today I'm gonna share the recipe with you guys, and let's get right into it. Also joining us today is my mother. She's a little camera shy, but Mom, say hi!
Hello!
Now there's so many ways to make pastina. Like typically in our family we would do like the egg and cheese pastina, but today we're gonna be doing the pastina soup, which is my personal favorite. As far as the ingredients go, we're gonna need a chicken, diced tomatoes, some carrots, parsley, onion, celery, and we also, it looks kind of wacky, but this is how we freeze our pesto. We made fresh pesto for the holidays, and the rest of it we froze. So if you freeze your pesto, it's good forever. We're gonna be using some of the pesto in the soup as well. And then we have some salt and pepper as well for it. So one of the ingredients is also bay leaves. In our house, my mother actually grows bay leaves. I'm gonna take 2 good-sized leaves. And obviously you should always be in the habit of washing all your vegetables. And I saved the best for last, the pastina. 1 box of pastina should be more than enough for this. Before we get into any of the cooking, it's Cooking with G, we gotta take the edge off with something. So today, we're gonna be taking the edge off with another G. Grappa.
Grappa tastes like sour plums with honey twist because it's distilled from Amarone pomace.
I broke this corn.
Only you could do that. Okay. So in Italy, grappa is primarily served as a digestivo or after dinner drink. Its main purpose is to aid in digestion of heavy meals. So you're going to talk about what's really used for? That's like after dinner, but you're doing it before you're cooking.
Yeah, typically. Before I get anyone acting like, why is she having grappa before the meal? You're supposed to have grappa after the meal. Let's get cooking. So the first thing you want to do is you want to grab a big pot like this and make sure that your chicken is thoroughly rinsed. You're going to want to fill it up with water to cover the chicken. Then you're going to put it on a high flame and make sure you cover it. This is going to be in here for probably about 45 minutes. So hey Siri, set a timer for 45 minutes.
Okay, 45 minutes and counting.
So now we're going to cut up all our ingredients. Next, you're gonna chop 2 celery sticks. You can chop a little bit more, but we're gonna start with the 2. Also, keep the leaves in there because there's a lot of nutrients in them. So the cool thing about cooking is that you can put as much or as little as you want of anything. I used 2 stalks of celery, but I'm feeling like I want to use another 2. So now we're gonna go in and chop our onion. You're definitely gonna see me shed a few tears chopping this, guy. So. Oh, they say if you chew gum, you don't cry as much. So I'm gonna go get some gum.
12 seconds later.
Okay, so I got some gum. I'm gonna be using Trident White. My brother's a dentist, by the way, and he says the best kind of gum that you should be having, like that's best for your teeth, is Trident. It's doctor approved. You're only gonna need probably half the onion, by the way. The chewing gum trick for cutting onions is definitely real. I'm not crying. Definitely try it out. And lastly, the parsley. Maybe just about like this much. So this is pretty much our little mix for our soup, and we're just gonna wait the remainder until the chicken's done. So after some time has gone by, you're gonna wanna add some salt to the pot. So you're gonna wanna do maybe like 2 tablespoons, but I'm gonna eyeball it. So now I'm gonna add some pepper. My father doesn't really like pepper, so I'm only putting like a tad in there. Maybe like 7 or 8 little, yeah? Shakes. All right, it's time to put all the veggies in there. So we're gonna stop the timer. Sorry if you got some like stress from hearing that. I know I always do. So now we're gonna add all of this in there. So after you put all the vegetables in there, you're gonna take your 2 little bay leaves and you're gonna go boop, boop, and and stir them right in there. So I know it's like 2 leaves of bay leaves. Like, why do we want to even put those in there? It seems like it's nothing. Bay leaves have so much flavor in them where like 2 leaves is enough for this entire pot of pastina soup. Like, I can literally smell the bay leaves and I only put 2 in there. So now I'm gonna go in with the, sounds like a makeup tutorial. Now I'm gonna go in with the 239. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put in the diced tomatoes. I have about like 8 ounces of tomatoes here, so I'm gonna put those in there now. So now that we've added our tomatoes and all the vegetables and the bay leaves, we're gonna use some of our wacky looking pesto. Even though it looks wacky, it's what's on the inside that counts. So I'm gonna be using about a tablespoon of our pesto. So I'm just gonna add that in here. And pesto is very, very strong in the flavor, so a little bit goes a long way, just like the bay leaves. It is really important that you taste it as you go. Like, you'll need to know if like it needs more salt or more pepper or more pizzazz. I don't know.
Does it taste good?
Yeah, it's so, it needs more work. So you're probably wondering, gee, when is this gonna be done? I would say when all the vegetables are like nice and like thoroughly cooked, and when the chicken, like when it's like very tender, if you can like put a fork in it and it comes off like butter, that's when you know. It's probably gonna take like another 40 minutes, so I'm gonna put that on my phone. It's a very lengthy process, as you can tell. While we wait for this to cook, my mother and I are gonna play some scupa to like make the time go by faster. For those of you guys who don't know, it's like Italian playing cards. So we're gonna do that now, and it should be done. Okay, Ma, what do you have?
Set the bello.
Oh, what the heck. So the 45 minutes are up, so we're gonna check on our soup and see if the chicken's tender enough. So if the chicken's coming apart pretty easily, that means that it's done. So we're going to turn it off, put a lid on it, and then I'm gonna start another pot to boil water for the main event, the pastina. So let me get that. So I just added 4 quarts of water to this pot over here. We're gonna turn it on and get it boiling for our pastina. While you're waiting for the pastina water to boil, you're gonna take off the scuma, or like the fat of the chicken, out of your soup, and because you're not trying to eat that. So we're gonna take that off right now. We're still waiting for the water to boil for the pastina, but I actually felt that I wanted to take the chicken out and cut it into little pieces, so it's not like an entire like chicken leg or something like that. I wanted it to be very finely cut pieces of chicken. So I'm gonna take off the chicken and I'm gonna cut that right here. Again, this is optional, you don't have to do this. This is just the way that I'm feeling right now. That's the best part of cooking, because you can do whatever you feel like, you know? You want to make sure that you take all the skin off now. So after it was done cooking, take the skin off now, because this is extra fat. We just wanted it for the flavors in the soup initially, but now we're good. We don't need it anymore. Okay, so I just finished cutting all the chicken. It's all in the broth now. The water's also boiling, so I'm gonna pour in the pastina. All right, time for the pastina to be done. We're gonna strain it. All right, so after you've strained your pastina, which also make sure you're using a strainer that has like little baby holes, and don't do it for that much or else all the pasta's gonna go through the holes. So we're gonna add all of the soup into this pot. So I just finished putting all the broth and mixing it with the pastina, and it's done. Look how pretty, look at all the stars. I'm really proud of this. This is the most proud I've ever been of any Cooking with G recipes. Baby, you wanna see? Baby, look how pretty it is, baby. Okay, I'm gonna put one in a bowl and I'm going to give it a taste test. I definitely like to add some cheese to my buon appetito. I just had a ratatouille moment. This definitely takes me back to when I was a little girl, and like it's crazy because now I can make it, and it's kind of scaring me because it's making me kind of feel old. I hope you enjoyed this episode of making pastina with me, and I'm really glad that I got to share it with everybody here and get help from my mommy. Thank you, Mama.
I love you.
Love you too, Mommy. And don't forget to press subscribe so you never miss another Cooking with G episode. All right, I'm gonna go sit down with my mother and eat the rest of my pastina, so we'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.